Hey everybody, it's Steve with Sky194, and appreciate you taking the time out of your day or night to stop in and visit and check out my video. And we are here at Indianapolis in the Audi EVO2, and I had a request for a setup for it. So I went ahead and, which wasn't too difficult. The Audi EVO2 is so good. It really does everything well, so, it really is no weak link, I guess you could call it. There's really none that I can find. I'm sure there's maybe certain tracks, but it works really well here at Indianapolis. So it handles the bumps. It has good straightaway speed. It pretty much just does everything. It handles really well. So I'm really happy with it. So we'll go ahead and do a lap, and then go over the setup and talk about that. And just before we get started, I've been having a lot of wheel issues, so if there's a break in the action, as far as videos, I'll probably post a comment or something about it, but I've been having a lot of problems with my wheel lately, and seems like I'm always ready for it to pretty much crap out. I'm supposed to have a league race coming up this weekend here at Indianapolis, the hour and a half race that my teammate Stu and I are supposed to be in, so I'm hoping that I'll be doing that because it's our league race. So I'm really hoping that I don't have an issue with it, but I've had to work on it multiple times, and so I'm definitely looking into something else. So anyway, let's go ahead and, like I said, get a lap and get behind the car so you can see my line and see my braking points and things like that. Just to, again, this is just how I do it. I'm not saying that. I know there's really fast guys here, so this is just tips for you in case you get a good idea from it. It does all right by me, but I know there's some really I'm sure there's some other ways, but works good for me. And you run it out wide there, so fine. Just keep your momentum going. Got really good speed down the straightaway. It's like 162 or something like that. I'm usually braking right at the 400 or inside it, so I'm in the car. I'm actually going by it. I'm past it, so just inside the 400. You probably lower fuel or maybe a little bit more aggressive on the brake bias. You might be able to go in halfway. And I started with 65 liters. So I ran this stint, and we're going to go over the timetables when I get done with the lap. I ran like 15 to 20 minutes, between 15 and 20 minutes. And I started with 65 liters, so you see we're down to 56. But again, for turn one, I brake here. Go down to first. Try not to hit the curb. If you touch it a little bit, it's fine. I try to run over the curb with the left side there. And basically when I'm coming up to the end of this other curb on the right-hand side is really my brake zone for just getting on the brakes. Again, I'm not on them long. Downshift. Touch the curb inside and outside, and it's wide open. Try to hit the curbing there. And as soon as I get past the curbing right back here, I'm on the brakes again. Some guys swing it really wide here. I don't like that. I swing it out a little bit, but you get out in this rough gray stuff, and it just seems like the car has problems. I'm sure it might be a little faster. I'm not saying that, but you got to be really practice it and really be confident, because if you get too wide, you get out too much in this gray stuff, you're just going to end up sliding. And of course, all it's going to take is somebody to be right on you, and they'll just dive bomb me on the inside. So I try to be a little bit more on the defensive side and kind of stay in the middle. And I try to feed it some gas to get the car to rotate, because it'll help it rotate, feeding it some gas. And again, I try to stay to the left, and then just let it, just touch the brake to settle the car, and then carry the speed, run over the curb there, and just get on the gas as soon as you can and open it up. Right to the edge of the track. You want to open it up as soon as you can. Come down here right past the 200, so you're kind of in the car again. You're out halfway between the 200 and the 100. You can go down to second, but I did it in first. I tried it in second also. Here, you just run on these curbs really hard. Now, I know there's some time left right here because I'm not hitting this really good here. I could probably be cutting this some more and get on the gas earlier and probably gain some time right here. So again, this is something you got to practice some more, but you need to cut this curb really well, and I'm not cutting it near enough. So there's definitely more time there. And here I go right to the 300, right up to it. Don't go inside it. I mean, you get right up to it because it's so easy to outdo yourself here and get into these barriers over here. And if you don't connect it really good here, you've just messed up the next, the next corner and good chance in getting onto the front straightaway. So you really want to cut this just right, and you don't want to outbrake yourself. Again, I do the same thing as turn 1. I cut it as close as I can. If you barely touch it, it's fine. And then I want to get all the way to the right. Now, I stayed in second in this lap, but actually later in the stint I started going down to first, and it seemed like it was gaining a little bit more time. So again, if the tires are really fresh and you can carry the corner speed, you might be able to get away with second. But to be honest, I mean, if you do it right first, most of the time would probably be a little faster through here. And again, just hold it all the way. That was my fast lap. See, 162. That was a 136.55. So again, not bad. I mean, for a race pace. Again, like I said, starting off with 65 liters. I don't think it's, for me, it's not bad. Right near my personal best. I think that's about a 10th off of my personal best. So still, it's there. It's just me, trying to drive. It's just driver. I mean, the times I'm sure is there. So let's go back to the garage. Go over the timetables, and you can see here if you put this is about the same time, but if you take this here and put it down here, that's like a 1/10 of a second. So, like I said, that would be right there on my personal best. So it's definitely got a 36.4 in it or something like that. I liked it because it was really consistent for me, especially since I don't drive the Audi a ton. I had a couple driver errors, but still, I mean, even in the last couple laps, I mean, they were, look at that, within a 100th of a second. I mean, you got a 36.71 and a 36.72. So, I mean, I thought that was really good as far as the consistency of it, and I was really happy with that. And I did, a decent amount of laps. Like I said, it was over between 15 and 20 minutes. So I was really happy, basically, with the outcome of that. So let's go ahead and go over the setup so we can go through that. I got 24.8 left front, 25.2 left rear, 26.5 right front and right rear. And again, these temperatures are always around 24 degrees in that range, 24, 25, something like that. That's what I try to get it at most of the time. The toes, negative 0.15 in the front with the camber at negative 3.6 in the left front, negative 3.4 in the right front, and the caster at 14. The toe on the rear is a positive 0.1 with the camber at negative 3.2 on the left rear and negative 3.1 on the right rear. Again, it's staggered some because I was getting a bigger spread on difference between the two sides. So again, I try to keep it within 2 or 3 degrees from inner to outer of these tires. So basically, that's where I try to keep all 4 tires in that spread as far as the difference. And I did run more negative camber, and it wasn't bad. So you can do that. You can knock the rears. I left the same because it didn't make a difference. But the fronts, you can go up a couple clicks with no problems. I didn't gain. If anything, I ran faster with this, but that might be just me. You might be better off with the other. So again, I didn't see any noticeable difference, but if that's the way you like it, the feel of it, it's all pretty much the same. Electronics are 3, 3, and 4, and I just did that for a little extra security with, especially in the first sector, was a little slick. Fuel, of course, like I said, I started with 65 liters. Now I had the number 2 brake pad, so I did not flip that to number 1s, and just in case it was a longer race, just to see basically if it made a big difference. And I really, something I should try is to go to the number 1s, but I just left it at the number 2s, and just it still ran really good. Tire wear, I'm really happy with the tire wear. No graining, no nothing. And it's really even, and that's what I was looking for, because you can see the left sides wear more than the right sides with these long, these right-handers, and stuff like that. So you got a lot of right-hand turns, real hard right-hand turns, and sweeping right-hand turn, and so you're going to wear the left sides faster. But I still like the wear. They're almost equal, and so I really like that. And the right side is just the way I like it. So I think it's really good for 15-20 minutes. I'm really happy with that. Mechanical, got 3 on the anti-roll bar, 58 on the brake bias, steering ratio is 14. Springs in the front are 174,000 with a bump stop rate of 600 and a bump stop range of 2. And on the rear, the springs are 163,000 with a bump stop rate of 900 and a bump stop range of 20. Anti-roll bar is 2 in the rear with a preload on the diff at 140. And that helps, get some dig in some of these slick spots. And, you get both tires digging, and it kind of helps, I think, with the wear and some of these slick parts, especially in that first sector. And, of course, I like running more bump stop rate on the rear, especially with even more so with the cars that the engine's in the rear or mid-engine. And it helps also get the car to finish the way I like it to finish. And this place kind of reminds me of Coda in a way, as far as those real tight turns, with the sausages right there on the corners. It's not as tight, but you still got a real, pretty much a real tight turn there. Turn 1 and the other, a few of the other turns. So, I basically like the car to come off and really finish strong coming off the corner where it's rotating and not understeer. So that's what I'm trying to accomplish anyway. Shocks. We got 28, 20, 18, and 18 on the left front. 27, 20, 19, and 19 on the right front. On the left rear, it's 21, 28, 28, and 30 on the left rear, and 20, 29, 26, and 30 on the right rear. All dialed in by Motec. See, they're all different. And again, I was tuning each corner to what Motec was telling me. So again, I think, and they came out pretty good. So I think they're pretty solid. So Aero got 55 in the front, 60 in the rear with a 4-wing and a 3 and a 3 in the brake ducts, and the front aero variation is a negative 2.2. So here, if the car doesn't rotate, if it rotates too much for you, I would just max the wing out and maybe go up 1 click in the rear. That's pretty much what I would do. I did run that for a while, and it was a pretty solid. It was a solid setup. It felt really stable, but I was losing probably. I don't know. I maybe could have tuned some more into it, but really, I was probably losing a couple tenths. So once I did this and took a wing out and adjusted the balance to it, it seemed to be a little bit better as far as the pace, and I still had good consistency. So again. I think it's a good base setup, something to get started with that you can make your adjustments from there. Again, if it doesn't rotate enough for you, I would just do raise the rear 1 click, 1 or 2 clicks in the rear, and that should be more than enough for rotation. If you think it doesn't rotate fast enough, or you can go 1 click on the anti-roll bar in the back, and that would be a pretty big adjustment. So but first of all, I'd probably start with the ride height and do 1 click at a time, and then try that and make sure it doesn't oversteer, because you don't want that. And then if that doesn't fix it, then you can put it back and try the rear sway bar or something like that, and see if that gives it enough, because that's a bigger adjustment. So again, I hope you enjoy it. I hope it works good for you. I think it's a very solid setup and good pace. Again, I hope you can give me a like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. It really would help the channel, and also sharing it. And of course, the link to this setup will be in the description. And of course, I have a PayPal link there too if you want to support the channel that way. But I thank everybody for support, whether it's the PayPal or if it's liking, subscribing, or just watching the whole video. It makes a big difference with all the YouTube stuff. So I appreciate it. And again, I hope you come back and you visit really soon. Y'all take care. See ya.